the MS Michigan Man 64 podcast. My name is Brian Wallace, and I am the MS Michigan Man 64. The MS Michigan Man 64 podcast is about chronic disease awareness. I have had multiple sclerosis for the last 27 years. It's an invisible chronic disease that I've been battling for half of my life. I want to share with you what it is like living with the chronic disease from my experiences and the experiences of other chronic disease warriors. We can fight to have a voice to those that want to listen. Together, we can motivate and educate. Hi, welcome back to the MS Michigan Man 64 podcast, where I'm trying to spread awareness about what it's like living with chronic disease. I've been living with multiple sclerosis for the last 27 years, and I am just trying to explain. And I talk to other chronic disease warriors, and we just have conversations and talk about our disease. Today, I went across the ocean. I am over in England again. I met this guy few months back. We've been following each other on TikTok. I love everything that he's about, and he wanted to come on and talk about his multiple sclerosis diagnosis in 2019. Please welcome to the podcast, Dave. How you doing, Dave?
I'm good, Brian. How's yourself?
I'm doing all right, my friend. I'm doing all right. So, Dave, you got diagnosed with your MS in 2019. I know you were a truck driver in England, and can you just kind of take us through what was going on in your life, what kind of symptoms you were having that made you go to the doctor and then ended up with your diagnosis of multiple sclerosis?
Yeah, that's not a problem. I was driving my truck like you do up and down the motorways, delivering, and I was tipping my head down just to stretch, and I was getting this tingling feeling from head to foot. And being a man, you just ignore it. And I didn't know what it was. Sometimes I'd get the urge that I needed to have a wee, which was really weird. This went on for months. In fact, I think it went on for over a year.
Mm.
It was only when I came up to see the mother-in-law, and she said, "Oh, your walking's bad. Your walking's bad." Me, I didn't know it was bad because you can't tell yourself.
Right.
So we saw them over the weekend. We went back home, helping the wife to cook Sunday dinner on Sunday. And it was only from when my right leg went completely dead, wouldn't move, had hot flush, didn't know what it was. I personally thought it was a stroke or heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the A&E. They did blood tests. Said no, nothing there. Didn't even do an MRI or a CT scan, nothing like that. So the following day, I made an appointment to see my GP. He got me booked in. He diagnosed me with inner ear vertigo. And I said to him, well, it can't be inner ear vertigo because that don't explain why my leg went dead.
Yeah, right.
And he turned around and said, right, all right, we'll refer you to the specialists. And then I think it went on for about 6 months, something like that. They did the MRI, full scan with contrast, lumbar puncture, and blood test for JCV. And then in the January 2019, they said, sorry to tell you, you've got MS.
That was it. Did you have any knowledge of what MS even was?
No, nothing. I had to find out myself through our local MS Trust or the MS Society. That they seem to know it all. They've got all the research. It is wrong that people like us haven't got the support within hospitals to say, this is what it is, here's a brochure, have a look at what it is.
Yeah.
It's wrong. It is a scary moment. And it was scarier for the wife and the daughter because the daughter didn't know what the hell was going off.
Yeah.
The wife didn't want to be lumbered with somebody that's going to be paralyzed in a wheelchair. Uh, I mean, it's just something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know when I got diagnosed, I was 27 years old, Dave, and when I heard those words multiple sclerosis, I mean, I didn't know what to think. I didn't really know a whole lot about MS. The only thing I really knew about MS was Annette Funicello, and I knew that she was in a wheelchair and she was pretty bad. But there was no real information. I mean, it was just like, hey, okay, you got MS. Okay, well, now what? I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, and that's what it was like for us. No, no information. Off you pop. Go and look at it yourself and do your research.
So how did
So
when you finally figured out that MS is chronic and it's going to be with you for the rest of your life and it's neurological? I mean, how did you process that? How did you like mentally like wrap your head around it?
I shook myself off, and I know it's not the way to do it. Shut yourself off to people, but it was a way I could get around it, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then, and then I thought, oh, life's over. I need some sort of mental health help,
Hmm.
and that's when I went to the GP, and they said, "Here, we'll give you some
Antidepressant.
depression tablets."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
to just take the edge of it because I didn't want to go out. I was frightened to go out. And
Well,
I think anybody is with this condition.
well, you know, and we talked about this a little bit off air, and we had a good conversation about it. When I got diagnosed, you know, I mean, I think the mental part of this journey is the hardest part, and you know, there was no like referral or any suggestion into the mental health part of it. And I think that that should be part of the diagnosis. Okay, you know what? You just got diagnosed with MS. This is a chronic disease. I want to refer you to mental health counseling. You know, have an assessment done. But there's nothing like that. And the mental part of this diagnosis, okay, here's a chronic disease. That's the hardest part. You know, wrapping your head around. You're going to have this the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly. And there is no support, shall we say, for them to refer you directly because it is a struggle for anybody that's got this sort of chronic illness.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, and, you know, like we were talking before, it doesn't matter if you're a male, you're a female. It doesn't matter how big and strong you are. I don't care, you know, who you are. This is going to affect you mentally. And if you deny that, I think you're lying to yourself. I know I lied to myself for years and said, you know, okay, I'm fine mentally. I'm fine mentally. But you know, I wasn't. You know, because this is a lifelong disease, and you're going to have moments where you're going to struggle. And I think the sooner that you realize that, and the sooner that you reach out for that help, the better off you're going to be in the long run.
Exactly. And I mean, it took me about a year, I think, to go down that road,
Hmm.
but I'm glad I did it because I just got the company I was working for said to me of that year when I got diagnosed, we're going to put you through your Arctic, I think they're called semis in America,
Hmm.
license. So I went, oh great, I'm up for that.
Yeah.
They put me through it, and then I think it was the October I passed the driving test for it. And then like November, I had to give up work because it was just getting too much. But also, I had like big relapses as well,
Hmm.
which is sort of a sign to say, look, you can't do this. You can't drive. Well, you can still drive, but the stress of it is not doing you any good. You've got to sort of find something else to do.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that was a nail in the coffin, shall we say, to say you need to get some help because you're giving up work
Yeah.
and being a man of the house, you're the one that's supposed to be providing.
Yeah.
It is a kick in the teeth, but I'm back to myself. I use my platform to help those others out that have been diagnosed, but also I use it as a safe place for people like us to come on, have a chat, but also have a moan about day-to-day struggles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's also
I'll go ahead.
it's easier for people like us
Yeah.
to just talk about our problems because
Yeah.
we understand each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I found the community on TikTok about a year and a half ago, Dave, and it was one of the best things that and I'm 55 years old and I was like anti social media my whole life. And when I found
Yeah.
TikTok and found that community, it is just such an awesome community because you find people that understand what you're talking about because it's hard for us going around with people that are normal, that aren't diagnosed with a chronic disease, for them to understand what we're going through and to have that community on TikTok that we can turn to any time of the day, 24/7, because you can find people all over the country with this disease or with a chronic disease that just understand what you're talking about.
Exactly, exactly.
Hmm.
And a lot of people that are newly diagnosed go, a lot of them are youngsters, a lot younger than us,
Hmm.
and a lot of them are on this platform and they use it to help them find other people and speak to us about our journeys and what treatment we're on. And that's good. And I'm pleased I can help people.
Yep. Absolutely. The thing that I really enjoy about being on TikTok, Dave, is when I do find people that are newly diagnosed, and they're in their young 20s or something, and they find me or I find them, and they have questions because they're scared, and just having somebody that's been through this for 27 years, I think that helps people that are just new in this journey, and that's like my purpose now.
Yeah. And and me as well. I mean, I also volunteer for our local, well, not local, but our national MS Society.
Hmm.
My my role with them is as what they call an MS champion, and the role entails me to go to like venues to promote, well, to mention about what multiple sclerosis is, even if is at the end of it they say here's a check for X amount of money, and that's what part of the role is for me to just be out there and popularizing what this is. I mean, I'm highly active. I'm out there 2 weekends on the trot, doing it this weekend and next weekend, telling people what it is. Just fun days, it's what it's about.
Yeah. And I love everything that you're about, Dave. That's why I'm friends with you on TikTok. I mean, I watch your videos. You're the same way as I am. You understand the disease and you understand that it's chronic. It's never going to go away, and it does suck. But we're there for the people that are struggling. We're there to help them out because we've been there.
Yeah, exactly. And like I'm a lot of people that are younger see me as their father figure, and they can open up to me about certain things. And if they don't want to do it on live, they're more than welcome to message me or have my number and I can WhatsApp them or text them because there is certain things you don't want to put on this platform, which I get.
Sure, sure.
Even and the other thing is, but it's not just people with MS that come and talk to me on my platform. It's other people as well that uh, just want a general chat. And if they've had a hard life as kids, they might want to open up to me. And that's what it's about. That's fine. I don't mind. That's what I'm here for. If they're comfortable, go ahead and do it.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I mean, it helps our mental health. I mean, just finding that community and finding people that understand is so important. In any kind of a chronic disease, it doesn't matter if it's MS, fibromyalgia, POTS. I mean, I've talked to so many people, all over the world that have different chronic diseases because they just want to be heard. They want to be understood and and they want to help other people that are going through similar situations as they are, and that's why I love doing this podcast.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, you know.
Hmm.
We're all we're all human at, at the end of the day.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't matter where we're from, what color we are, what nationality we are, what political views we have. And MS doesn't care. It's going to take anybody that it wants to take. And I think the important thing is that we all just come together, no matter where we're from and what our beliefs are, and we just come together and we just spread the awareness about what it's like living with this disease, because there's a lot of ignorance out there, and I'm trying to fix that. I'm trying to help people not be ignorant. Ignorance is a choice. I always say that, and I just want people to choose to, um, you know, get the education and the knowledge of what it's like living with chronic disease, even if you don't have it. Understand it. 'Cause when I got diagnosed with MS, that humbled me, and it opened my eyes to everybody else around me, what their struggles were. If somebody had fibro or something, I wanted to understand that, and I thank MS for that. I mean, there's a lot of shitty things about MS, but there's a lot of good things that came out of this disease and this diagnosis for me.
Yeah, and I see where you're going with it. It's like for me, I've got lots of community-based people that want to learn. Some don't want to learn. That's fine. But at the end of the day, it is, as you say, ignorance, and it doesn't. I think it's the way people are brought up. They don't like various other things. Do
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I totally believe it's the way you're brought up. I mean, I was always brought up to respect people. It didn't matter, what color they were, or what nationality they were, or what social set they came from. I mean, I've always been the type of person that, you are who you are, and I like you for who you are. As long as you're a good person to me, I'll be a good person to you. And I just want people to understand that even though we have MS, we're still good people. We're still productive people, and we want to be treated like normal people. We don't want to be treated like outcasts. We don't want to be treated like third world citizens. And I think a lot of times we feel that way.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, um, people have to be nice to each other, and unfortunately, at the moment, with the situation in the world, it's not happening.
Yeah.
I mean, the other problem we've got, as we spoke last night, is you've got them and us. Like, I'm not going to lie, I have a mobility car. In the UK, we get what's called PIP, Personal Independence Payment.
Hmm.
You can get this while you're still working, is to help you um, pay for extra stuff you might need for your day-to-day living.
Hmm.
So if you need stuff at work that you might have to put in, or if you need extra taxis to and from work, but you can also get this when you're not working, and you have you have what's called higher rate of mobility, and you've got standard rate. So if you've got the higher rate, you can have a mobility car, or you can have a mobility van which is fully adapted if you're in a wheelchair.
Hmm.
You can get a mobility scooter or a wheelchair. But then you've also got your daily living allowance, which has higher rate or standard. And if you don't get you don't really get anything apart from the money, which is nice. So if you get the higher rate, it's a higher rate of money. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And we have something similar over here in the United States. I mean, there's a lot of differences in it, but you pay into that with our taxes your whole life, and if it comes down to you having to go out on that disability, it's really not enough to live on in the United States. I mean, it's not like you're going to be living a normal life with the kind of money that you get. But I mean, it's something, but they don't take care of you like I think that we should be taken care of. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, here's a little bit of money, and well, hopefully you survive. Here you go.
Yeah, and that sounds a bit like us because we also get what's called universal credit. So it's like a government payment scheme where you have like commitments. You have to go in, you sign documents, like a bit of legal stuff.
Hmm.
But like it says, you have to look for work for 35 hours a week. It's basically that money's there to support you while you're looking for work.
Yeah.
And if you don't do what they ask, you get sanctioned, so you will lose money. But because I'm chronically ill, I've had another assessment where you get a bit more extra money. It's called limited capacity to work, and that is done through an independent doctor, the Universal Credit people, which is run by Department of Work and Pensions, and they've said no, he doesn't need to work. He can't work because of his illness. So they still pay me my money, but I also get a bit extra from this limited capacity to work because they know I can't work and they need to support you. So yeah, I'm getting two lots of money because the limit capacity is in with UC. So you can't say it's three lots because it's not. But I've got enough to survive. I ain't got enough to have fancy holidays
Yeah.
because you can't afford it. It's not once my bills are paid, that's it. I might have 100 quid to my name to last for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah. I know.
And if people,
Don't go ahead.
and I'm sure you get that in the States as well, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're single and disabled, it is a struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how people do it when they're single. I'm married, and my wife works, so we have two. My disability and her income. But yeah, I can't imagine how people that are on their own with a disability, they don't get a lot of money. It's not in my opinion, when you get disabled in the United States, you're just written off. You're written off, and they give you what you're entitled to, but it's not enough to live on. It really isn't.
No, you see, because I'm married, we get a couple's payment. So it's a lot more than what you get if you were single.
Okay. Okay.
But they are, you've probably, I don't know if you've seen it, but over here, you've got so many different sorts of benefits. Like if you work in and you become ill, you get what's called ESA. So it's like a work benefit because you off ill
Hmm.
and you used to get that on a long term. Now they're changing everybody over to this universal credit because they want everybody in the one pot. But it seems you got more when you're on this other benefit than you are on this one.
Yeah.
But the way our local government see it is the benefits there is not to support you for day to day living. Ideally, they want us all going back to work.
Yeah,
But
I've heard that you guys got something going on over there where they're trying to get people that have been deemed disabled for years, and they're trying to get them back to work. And I think I don't know. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Somebody that's had MS for 20 years, they're expecting them to go back out and get into the workforce. I mean, they're out of their minds.
yeah, I mean, I think it's more for people that have got like mental health issues because there's a lot of people in over here that are claiming these benefits that are on have got mental health issues saying they can't work.
Yeah.
But what they've decided to do is they're doing this try work scheme. So you won't lose your benefits. You can go and try the work. And if it's not for you, you still keep your money, which I think a good idea. But for somebody that's got MS, it's not going to work. I mean, like you follow him and I follow him, Swab,
Yeah.
the poor bloke, he's in a wheelchair, he's got a catheter, He's got no voice box apart from his electric voice box. I can't see him working. The only thing that he could do is be on our underground service or on our bus service doing the voices, because I don't know whether you get it in the States. Like our underground is like your London Underground is like your subway,
Okay.
and they have station callers. So if you're on the train, it'll go to the next train. He's calling that platform, such and such. And we've said to Swab, that would be your ideal job, Swab. You could do it as the Queen.
Yeah.
He finds it funny because that is the only thing he could do. Or if he was had his voice for on the buses. So like they'll call out what stops next, you know?
Right.
It's beyond me the way the government, because the government want to try and save money. I get that, but for Christ's sake, don't take it from the ill and the elderly, because we can't afford it.
Yeah. And those are the two populations that are treated the worst here in the United States too. It's the elderly and it's the disabled. And that just sounds like it's a world issue. And I wish somebody would fix it.
Yeah, I mean, when our local government got in, I think they've been in over a year now, or a bit longer. They said, right, we're taking the winter payments from the elderly. So they got an extra payment during winter to help to pay for gas and electric. So he took that off them. And then because everybody said, no, we're not having this, he actually backtracked and gave it them back.
Mm.
But then he decided back in January, I think it was, we're going to take it from the elderly, take their benefits.
Jeez, oh man.
It's not working. He's not living in the real world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you guys thought you had it bad with Trump.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Dave. You said that you were married. How did your wife understand the disease when you got your diagnosis in 2019?
She didn't. She didn't know anything about it. She couldn't understand what it was. Originally, she thought she had it because she was the one that her legs were giving out when she was walking down the stairs. And I think she was hoping it would be her that had it, not me. That makes sense.
Yeah. She was going through similar symptoms too?
Yeah, but it wasn't MS because she had the MRIs.
Wow.
They think it was to do with arthritis in her legs.
Okay.
So that's something. I mean, we both had to do a lot of research together about MS and what's involved.
How about your kids? How about your kids? You have kids. How did they understand it when you got your diagnosis?
The daughter was in hysterics because she go, "Oh, my dad is ill. He's going to die." You know how it is. People say you die from this condition, which you don't. You die from the complications that are involved with it. You don't die from the illness.
Correct.
So we had to sit down and talk to her about it. She's still broken to this day. I don't think she'll ever be right because it's somebody she loves. But the boys, they don't show their emotions. They know I've got it. They just don't show their emotions. And I think you get that as well, Brian, because I know you were saying yesterday about your daughter knows about it and she's in the same boat as mine.
Yeah, absolutely. My daughter's 23 years old. I can talk to my daughter on any day about my MS. She'll ask me questions about it. She actually recorded an episode with me, episode 13. I offered to my son to come on and talk about the MS, living with your dad with MS. And he said, "Oh, hell no, Dad. I don't want to do that." My son doesn't want to, he really doesn't like talking about it. And that's fine. I mean, I can't make anybody talk about it. But my kids love me and they both understand, what I'm going through, but they both have different ways of dealing with it. My daughter will talk about it. My son won't.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? How the male population won't talk about it.
It seems that way. It really does seem that way. Like, yeah, I don't know if that's just a guy thing. Like we were brought up, you got to be strong. We got to, the leaders of the family, you're the money getters and all that. And I don't know if that's what it is or what, but yeah, I think men have a hard time talking about things, especially with this chronic disease. I mean, they don't want to talk about sexual dysfunction or shitting your pants or pissing yourself. And I know women have a problem with it too, but I mean, it's part of this disease.
Exactly, exactly. And you know me, we've known each other quite a while,
Hmm.
and I am very open about this disease. Like if people ask me, "Well, what's the symptoms?" I will tell them that you can walk down the street, and the next minute, you've wet yourself, or
Hmm.
God forbid, you've um crapped your pants.
Right?
Unfortunately, that is what the disease is, because you have no control over your own bodily functions
No. And,
at times.
and your mind knows that, hey, I gotta pee, but your body won't, the muscles won't hold it in, and it is what it is. I mean, it's going to happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but if it does, you just got to deal with it. Okay, it is what it is. Don't get upset. Don't get excited. If you fall in public, calm. You stay calm. I mean, these are the things that we go through. And I know when you're new in this disease, your head's spinning, and it freaks you out that this stuff happens, and we got to get adjusted to it, that's a whole process in this journey too.
Yep. I mean, I've also got my uh, I call it a work page for my volunteering for MS, and
Mm.
if people want to message me on there, it's MS Champion for the MS Society on Facebook. And it's
I'll put that in the description of the podcast so that if anybody wants to follow that.
and there's lots of information that I keep sharing from a national centre, or even videos that I put up that our national centre is on TikTok, and they do post on there. So I tend to share a lot of their stuff. I mean, they've just produced a booklet for children from the ages of 5 up to about 15, I think it is, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe you've read as well.
I have.
And it's a brilliant book. It really is.
It is, and
Because if
I'll put that in the description too. You sent me the link to it. I'll attach that in the description too if anybody wants to check that out. An excellent, excellent tool to help teach your kids what MS is all about. Very, very easy to read. And I'll definitely put that in the description too if anybody wants to check that out.
Yeah, because it's also got sections in there where you can fill stuff out. So if they want to call your MS a special name, there's sections there for it, which I think is fabulous.
Yeah.
Like we're getting there, because it is hard for a parent to describe to a child what is MS. I
Mm.
mean, parents I've spoken to have gone, I've just told them a meal. That's their way of doing it,
Yeah.
which I get it. I get it. But the other thing that they have produced with it is a a bear with, I wouldn't say it was a bear, but it's like a soft toy,
Hmm.
but it's called Neuron. You'll see that on the PDF when you download it. It's called Neuron. When you order it from the shop, you can order it with this bear. It's really cute. I think it's a good way to explain MS as well, with this teddy bear, because it's got other bits coming off it. So if you imagine your spinal cord and the neurons that travel through it, you've got loads of little bits coming off it, and that's what this little blue neuron teddy bear's like. It's it's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I'll definitely put that in the description if anybody wants to check that out. I think it's an awesome tool. I've never seen it in the United States, but I think it's a great tool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the difference between the United Kingdom and the US. We seem to have stuff in place for our children where the US don't. I believe you have an MS society out there, but it's not the same as the UK?
It doesn't seem like it's the same. I don't speak any bad about the MS Society. I just don't. I've never had any good experiences with our MS Society. I called them one time and I didn't really get a whole lot of good feedback from them. So I kind of, okay, well, they're not really behind me. So I kind of, I don't have a whole lot of affiliation with our MS Society, but I've heard a lot of good things about the UK MS Society over there.
Yeah, yeah, they are very helpful. They will, if you ring them up, they have got two MS nurses at the end of the phone. They've got trained counsellors at the end of the phone. We've also got a legal solicitor at the end of the phone. If you're having problems with something at work, he's free. You ring him up, he give you advice, and if you need to step it up, he's there to help you. Which I think's really brilliant. There's not many countries in the world that would do this.
No, I've never heard of that over here. So yeah, I think that's awesome.
And I don't know whether the other charities like the MS Trust, MS UK have got like the legal side of it. I know they've got nurses, but the MS Society is one of the biggest in the UK. We have groups dotted around the UK as support groups, run under the umbrella, and they run coffee mornings, pub nights, social evenings, Christmas meals, days out, and those days out make a difference, you know.
Oh heck yeah,
And they're all self-funded, so they have to raise their own funds through the year. And if that means going out on the street, rattling a tin, so be it.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. So if anybody wants to follow you on TikTok, Dave, what is your screen name on there?
Um, it is down as multiple sclerosis trucker, I believe. Let me double check that for you, Brian, because I can't remember off the top of my head.
I want to say it's Dave the MS Trucker, but I want to be hundred
Yeah,
percent.
because I can give you both of them. So let's wakey wakey.
It's all right.
So I'm talking to me tablet. It's not waking up. So my app name is Multiple Sclerosis Trucker, and my actual screen name is Dave MS. Well, it's Dave lower hyphen M dot S Trucker,
Okay. I
and
will.
you'll know it's me because me and the wife are there with orange MS Society t-shirts on,
Yeah.
and I've got a Union Jack flag on my name, so you'll know it's me. There'll be nobody else with that.
Yeah.
And there's lots of views.
Yeah.
Go on, Brian. Sorry.
No, that's all right. I'll put that in the description. So if anybody wants to connect with you and follow with you, they can find you on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. I'm there. And if people want to learn more, I'm happy to help people out. My inbox is open 24 hours a day. Obviously, I won't answer it 24 hours a day.
Yeah. I appreciate, man, everything that you're about, Dave. That's why we're friends because we're on the same mission, man. We just want to help people just to understand this disease and help people that are newly diagnosed, just to, kind of help them slow their head down from spinning that they're going to be okay because you are going to be okay with this disease. We got to figure things out. We always figure it out. We figure out how to do things different. You might not be able to do things the same way, but we figure out how to do them differently.
Exactly. And that's what it's about, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And, and we're all here to help each other out at the end of the day.
Yep, absolutely. Dave, if there's anything, is there anything else that you want to tell anybody that is going through, just they're newly diagnosed or they've been doing this a couple of years and they're struggling? What would your message be for them?
Just reach out. You're not alone. We're we're here for you. Myself and Brian, and There's loads of other people out there that have got this condition. You're not alone. Just please reach out.
Yeah. I appreciate you,
Yeah.
Dave. I appreciate you so much. I would have you on again, another episode. I love everything that you're about. I know that you're just about spreading awareness, and I really thank you for joining me today to share your story.
You're more than welcome, Brian, and thank you for inviting me on. You know,
Oh, not a problem, Dave.
and and hopefully we'll hear a lot more from people.
I hope so. I hope so. You know, you're not alone out there. You got to find a community. We can help. I mean, you know, we're not gonna cure you, but we can help you get through it. The mental part is the hardest part of this disease. I want to thank Dave again for coming on. If you want to follow me on TikTok, it's MS Michigan Man 64. Instagram, same way, MS Michigan Man 64. You can find me on Facebook, Brian Wallace, out of Brunswick, Ohio. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share it out. Until the next episode, MS Michigan Man 64, I am out.